this is Kim with heisrael.com. Today I want to talk about what a screenplay requires. You know, a lot of us, we have all these wonderful ideas rattling around in our head, and we think, you know, sometimes we watch movies and we think, gosh, I could have done that. And, you know, sometimes we want to sit down, we take a stab at it. And have you ever sat down and you typed out a few words, and then you get up and you maybe, I don't know, go back on your Facebook, or you do all these things because you get distracted easily because you actually have to sit down and think about it? Well, I just did a blog, a video blog last week about being able to organize your thoughts and your ideas. The more organized you are, the better off you are. You know, when you're sitting down to write, you'll be able to do that. So, you know, no one just plunks down in front of their keyboard and cranks out a feature film. I mean, if you do, you're going to have to do it over and over again. So before you even write your script or even think about hiring someone, you know, you need several key elements that you need to answer. Like, first, you need to secure the concept in your mind and ask the inevitable what if question. Now, when I was going back through some of my notes, number one, to be able to create this blog site, but number two, back for my own writing purposes, this is some of the genre or ideas that my professor came up with, but I thought it was really kind of funny, so I thought I'd tell you. So you're going to have to ask the what if question. What if a genetically altered eggplant starts running amok in Topeka, Kansas? What if a serial killer tries to kill or starts killing the forensic scientist tracking him down? All possible questions and concepts have to be clear in your mind. Now, I'm not even going to attempt to answer that because that's not my genre. You know, it always helps to know. It's whatever you're passionate about. It's obviously your genre. It's whatever you're passionate about. When I talked about James Cameron, and he wrote Avatar, and, you know, obviously he had a passion, you know, for aliens and everyone coexisting and whatever that meant. And his story was so, I don't know, unbelievable, but he made it believable. He made us want to believe that. So he had to answer the possible what if questions. You know, well, who's really going to believe that, you know, you know, this G.I. Joe figure comes in that's going to kill, you know, all these people going on a mission, you know, to kill these savage people, becomes one of them, and his spirit leaps into the avatar at the end of the movie. You know, he takes you on this journey. You see through that character's eyes everything, Jake's character, what's happening in that. So when you're sitting down to write, you know, whether you're going to, you know, submit to to Hollywood, or, you know, to your church, to your writing group, or, you know, even script writing contests, you have to answer the inevitable what if questions. So all possible questions and concepts have to be clear in your mind before you can write, much less pitch your script. The more you know it, the more you understand it. I mean, it has to be such a part of you that just has to pour out. I mentioned earlier in one of my other blogs that, you know, sometimes, especially with us creative types, it's hard for us to go back and revise something. You know, you've sat down, you've written the most amazing masterpiece because it just flowed out of you and just spilled and poured out of you, and that should be enough. Well, it's not. Or you could be the obsessive compulsive type where it's just never enough. So you got to find that middle of the road. The more you know it, the more you understand it. When you sit down to write and draft it and revise it, it will be there. You know, settling on a concept also goes hand in hand with selecting a genre for your film. You know, of course, we all know there's comedy, mystery, horror, action, adventure, romantic comedies. You know, there's just all kind of different genres, but it's whatever you're passionate about. And I know that may seem a little profound, you know, because you obviously know what you're passionate about, but, you know, maybe you're sitting down for the first time and you've just had this idea. You've watched this Hollywood movie. You've gotten your last Netflix, and you thought, I could do that. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I could do that. Well, hopefully this helps everyone from the seasoned writer all the way through to the person with just trying to get their message out. Now, granted, a lot of us here don't have like big, budget or whatever, but we definitely want to get our message out. And again, the more we know our concept, our genre, am I writing a drama? Am I writing a comedy? Am I writing a romantic comedy? What is it that I want to convey? I use, the story about the woman that I saw. I wrote in my personal journal, the woman that I saw at the park with her son, and just what that felt and looked like to me. And I began to put myself in her shoes, what she felt about it, what was happening, what it must have seemed like when they were planning. Was this a surprise? How she felt when she realized she was pregnant, what happened in it from birth all the way to the 3 years that the child had been there. I had to answer all of those questions, and I began to flesh that out because it had such a tremendous impact on me, because I wanted to have a child, and I wanted to have a boy. And of course I ended up with 2, so I'm very excited. But, those are some questions, that I really had to sit down and answer. So, whatever your idea is, make sure that you understand your characters, what they're doing, what they're wearing, where they're going, who they've been with, what they're talking about. Every little aspect about your character. Know them like you know your spouse, excuse me, or yourself. Number 2, you've got to have a compelling plot, storyline, some twists and turns in your plot, especially depending upon what you're doing. Make your characters 3-dimensional, not 2-dimensional. Now, if you're doing a action adventure, a lot of times your character is very 2-dimensional. Think of Die Hard. Everything's blowing up and explosions everywhere. They heroically get out of these crazy situations completely unscathed. There are cars flying off a building, and they lands on the street below, and they keep driving, and just some things that would never happen. But we love those kind of things because we love to see the hero win against the bad guys. So just know your genre, know your audience, know your plot, know your characters, and writing your script should be a lot easier the more you sit down and do it. So anyway, I hope this helps you guys, and leave your questions, comments, and concerns below. Visit me, or visit our blog at heisreal.com, or send a message, Kim at heisreal.com, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.